Hello and welcome. Today we're going to work on the letter H. I've already got the other letters up to H created and on video, so if you're looking for one of those, I've got those things documented, but we're going to work on the letter H today. So there's a number of different ways to make letter H as an initial capital letter. You can make it as a vertical line with a hump next to it, or you can make it as two vertical lines with a joining piece. There's all sorts of different styles. I think we're going to do two vertical lines and a joining piece today. So I always work with pencil first so that I can work on the shape and decide what I want to do with it. It's good to have a real eraser nearby because the built-in erasers tend to be pretty poor. And then go over it with a waterproof pen, and then we paint it in with watercolors. The pen that I'm using is a Sakura Jelly Roll 06, but you can use whatever waterproof pen you want to. Just needs to be waterproof because we're working with watercolors, and if you don't have a waterproof pen, then it will smear when we get to the stage of putting watery stuff over the top of it. Alright, so let's make the two pillars of the H. Left-hand pillar. I tend to like a loose style where things are clearly handmade. In a world of computer generated stuff, I'm gonna retry that. Got a little too far over to the right. And everything is going to be off center, so let's try to move it over here more. That's why I do things in pencil, so you can adjust. So again, if I was being very attentive to having all the lines straightened and everything, then I could use a ruler here, but part of my purpose is to have this look handmade, because with so many computer generated things, it'd be very easy for a computer to just kick this out and make everything exactly proportional and straight and all of that. But I like the fact that this is made by hand and a human being put the effort in to make a present for someone. Alright, so we got the basic shape of it. And I'm going to put some inner shapes so we have something to have different colors in. Alright, we've got an H. Alright, I think I'm going to go with flowers. And part of what I like to do with flowers in these letters and have them weave in and out amongst the letters, and then I could have them come together here in the center. So what I'm going to do first is make a couple of oval shapes, because that'll give places for these flowers to poke through. Alright, so I have the flowers start down here. And go up here. Come out of this one. Come around there. Out of this one. Come around here. And then come up over there. Blossoms, so then when it gets up here it'll have some blossoms. Alright, and the same thing over here, we'll have one that comes up here. Comes through that hole, around there. That hole, around there. And comes up that hole. And up there. We could have a butterfly up here. Alright, I think that will work. You generally want to keep a margin around the edge of your painting so that if someone needs to mat it for framing, they don't cover up over some of the actual painting area. So try to keep white space around the edge. I could start putting things on top of the pillar, but that would start to get a little too close to the top of the work. Alright, so now that we got the pencil drawing part done, we're going to work on the pen and ink drawing. And remember, the key here is just to use a waterproof pen so that when we get to the painting stage, the pen ink does not smear due to the movement of the wet brush. Keep in mind when you put pen on, that pen is wet to start. That's how it comes out of the pen. So be careful not to run your hand or the edge of your hand or any of that stuff over the wet pen before it gets a chance to dry. If you need to make adjustments to your drawing, I highly recommend you do that in pencil, even though it might seem to be a pain to go back to pencil and to redraw things and then to ink it with the pen. It's just safer that way, so that if you try something and then you decide, oh, it doesn't actually look alright, it's nearly impossible to get the pen back off of there, but it's very easy to get pencil back out of there. So it's better to do all of your drawings in pencil. All sorts of great names that begin with the letter H. Harry, Henrietta, Hermione, Hagrid. I think you can tell where my mind is going. Although I actually wasn't thinking that when I said Harry. I was thinking Prince Harry. Hannah. That's a nice thing about working on letters like this. You can make them for friends and family members. And you don't need to stop at just one. You could make a Christmas set for people. You can make a spring set for people. People generally like personalized gifts that you made just for them. And if someone loves sunflowers, you can make one for them with sunflowers. If someone likes cats, you can make one for them with cats. Flower. Alright, work on the other flower over here. The main challenge that you might have once you start working on this project is that if you make one for one person, then someone else says, oh, I would like one too. And then you make one for another person, and then suddenly you've got a list of people who would love to have letters of their very own. Something fun to keep you busy. Alright, got the flowers done in. Okay. Butterfly. Okie doke. So I think we got the basics here of the letter. We'll give that a moment to dry while we ponder what colors we want to do in this one. I think I would like the flowers to be red. I think I might go with gold and light brown then for the colors in here. I think I will go with light brown for the structure and then gold for the highlights. Let's give that a shot. So I'm saying light brown, but I should use the actual color name. So it's the color chart. So I was thinking about burnt sienna here. These are actually both burnt siennas, but you can see that the Marie's has got a different kind of hue to it than the Reeves does. It's part of why I sometimes have multiple versions of a color, like those are both cerulean blue, but they are slightly off from each other. And like the green deep, you can really see that the colors are fairly different from each other. So I'm going to go with the Reeves burnt sienna. This is part of why it's good to have a color chart, because the way a color looks on paper can be fairly different than how it looks when it's a dried paint in your paint bin. So it's good to have a color chart so you can see what the colors actually look like. Alright, so we're going to go with the burnt sienna. things just for the side here. I'll start over here so that I give the rest of the ink the maximum drying time possible. Often when you're doing watercolors, it's a good idea to do a section and then let it dry, and then do another section. So what this could mean is that you have multiple paintings going on at the same time, or that you are lucky enough to have a watercolor area that you can leave out, so that you stop by and do some painting, and then you go do something else, and then you come back and you do a little more painting, and then you go and do something else. But not everyone has the luxury of having that kind of studio space that's within easy reach, that you can just pop in and out and easily work on things. So whatever works for you, based on your schedule and space and all that other sorts of stuff. Just find some way to get it done. Well, we all deserve to have some creativity and fun in our lives, and especially for a project like this, which you are often doing to bring joy into other people's lives. It is a win-win, because you get the fun and relaxation of creating something and painting something, and then the other person gets the happiness of having a special, unique item crafted for them. It's funny how colors give us different views of what the object is. When I see something that's in a brown like this, I think of it being wooden and a natural, organic kind of thing. And soft may be the wrong word, but sort of comforting. Where if we had done this in bright metallic colors, then that would have given me a metal sense, that the thing was made out of metal and that it was harder and more I suppose man-made would be a word for it, although you would think that something that was built out of wood would be man-made too. Just gives me a different sense about the object in question. So it's good to think about all those kinds of things, about the impressions that colors give. And it's also fair to say that few things in life are truly universal. It might be that for you red is about romance and flowers, and it could be that someone else has a very different impression about red. So we all see things a little differently from each other, which is pretty cool. Part of what makes life interesting. So you can often generalize and say blue is soothing and red is energizing and that sort of thing, but it's not necessarily true for every single person. So if you're doing something for a person, it might be good to ask them what colors they enjoy, what their favorite color is. Maybe you were going to do something for them in green and it turns out that they love the color purple, and they would really like it if you did it in purple for them. I suppose if you're trying to do it as a surprise, then you have to find a around the backside way of asking them what their favorite color is without revealing what your purpose is. There's usually a way to figure that sort of stuff out. Alright. Darkening it a bit, so a bit more of the richness. Watercolors in general dry lighter than they first go on. So it's good to think in layers. You don't have to get it to be the exact right color on the first pass. Sometimes it'll take a second pass or a third pass before it gets to the color that you are aiming for, which is fine. I don't want you to have to sit through the whole darkening process in this video. I think you get a sense for where I'm going with this. I want this to have a rich wood feel to it. Alright, so I'll just do some more brown on this side. And then we, oops, oh, see, this is exactly, alright, hold on. So I am rinsing the brush so it is completely clean. And I am sweeping along that and lifting it up like a sponge. Rinse so it's clean. Lift. I may have to put something up on top of there after all. I think I got most of it up. But this is the danger of working on something while it's wet and trying to do different parts of it. You can't touch anything that's wet because it will smear. Right, I think I've got most of it up. Alright, so we'll work on this side over here without going near the side that is wet. Alright, that's up. On the sands. And over here. Alright, so I think you see the gist of getting this brown darker. If you want to make it even darker again, then you would put another layer on. I think that's pretty close to what I am looking for. Alright, so what did we say? Gold? I think we're going to put some gold in here. And red. Red for the flowers, I think gold for the highlights. Gold for the highlights. Alright. Gold on here. Looks like the ink might be smearing a tiny bit. That is alright. Get the gold on here. Painting on the gold. So the beauty of these is that you can use whatever colors you want, whatever combinations you want, whatever decorations you want to make it fully and completely personalized. Alright, so we got some gold, got some brown. Now we can work on the flowers, which I wanted to make red. Luckily the flowers are pretty separate from everything else, so I can work on those without causing too much problems for the other areas. Red is definitely a color that is hard to get back up and stains, so it's good to be careful about not smearing anything that's red. Oops, I think one of those was a leaf that I just painted red. That's alright. I don't want to have lots of blossoms over there. We'll just add in another leaf when we get a chance. Alright, so we got some red blossoms on there. And adding some green for the leaves. Alright, so we got some leaves and petals. I think I will make the butterfly gold. I don't know if I really want to make the butterfly red, because we've got these other red things in here. Maybe I will make the butterfly green. It's a little risky since I just painted that gold 2 seconds ago. That seems to have worked. Alright, so then the question is, what color do we make the holes? How about dark brown? And again, this is also risky because we just painted the gold not too long ago. Which dark brown do we want to go with? We'll go with this one. I want the sense that those are holes into the shape. I don't think I really want them to be black, because that would be too eye-catching. This works better, just a very dark brown. so that works. What else do we need? I like to put the little dot things on as highlights, and I think I might do them in that same dark brown. I think that would work pretty well. So I'll just get some more of this dark brown. The other brown is dried enough that I can start adding those on. Start adding on the little dots. So this is raw umber. That's the color we're working with right now. Dots over here. Okie dokie. I'm not entirely sure about the butterfly being green like that. I am not sure what I want to do to it though. I don't know that I want it in red either, because the rest is red, and I don't know that I want to go with an entirely other color, but maybe I'll put it into dark brown. Something about that green is not striking me. I think I like it better in dark brown. There's a little light. Alright. I like that. I'll sign it. Alright, so there you have the letter H, done with flowers and a butterfly. So let me know if you have any questions about creating capital letters in watercolors, thinking up color combinations for them, adding in flourishes and shapes for them. I'm happy to answer any sorts of questions you have. Let me know what you would like to hear. Well, thank you, Deb.